Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report, as well as my day job, because without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, I go to the school that believes that hard work pays off. And if you want to invest in something, the best investment is investing in yourself. And I'll be honest with you, I have done a lot of different things in my life. Some things worked out really, really good. Some things not quite so good. But nothing beats a failure more than a try. And you have to keep trying to do things. I've always had a love for doing woodworking. A lot of you have actually gotten a lot of the stuff that I've built here in my workshop. Like this is a house divided Joe Barty. You've got Cowboys blue and silver with the Bengals orange and black. So we have a Cincinnati and Dallas fan. So that's going to be packaged up and sent out of here. And I have built a lot of things with these hands. But the thing is technology changes things. Things evolve. I remember being about 12 years old and framing up my parents' house using, of course, hammer and nails, which was great at the time. Hanging the drywall with the drywall hatchet and stuff. You know, we used the hatchet to kind of chip away at it and stuff, and it had the textured nail head, hammer head on there for dimpling the drywall so the mud would grab it. Of course, then by the time I became a young adult, they started coming out with the Makita drills, cordless drills. Oh my God. You mean I don't have to plug the drill in? We can put screws in the walls with a drill? Wow. And of course, nowadays, everything is cordless, and the amount of power that you get. You've got lawnmowers that are, of course, run by batteries. Hell, Ford has their Lightning pickup truck that's coming out that'll be able to power your house for 3 days in inclement weather. So technology changes and things evolve and things get better. I think about some of the tools that I've bought, like my table saw here, I bought when Michael was about a year old, and it still runs and works really, really good. I think about how I make all these things and stuff by hand, one at a time. But technology is getting better and better, and to be able to create some things that I can't like I used to, I have just actually ordered a CNC machine. A CNC made by Inventables. It's a CNC Pro carver. And so not only will I be able to do things like this, but I'll be able to customize them. So if you want to have your name or your initials or a logo or something like that put on them, I'll be able to actually carve those things and do things precise. I've had people who've said, hey, I'd love to get some of your furniture. You know, I'd like to have a computer desk done. Problem is I'd have to make it and assemble it and then send it to you, which is not cost effective. But by getting this machine, it'll enable me to be able to do things where you can assemble it. All the parts will fit there like a glove. And like IKEA furniture, you'd be able to do it. So I'm excited about the machine that I've got. Like I said, I've got the X-Carve Pro 2x4 unit. Nice thing about this is it's open in the front and the back, and because it's 4 foot wide, I can actually take a full sheet of plywood in there. I can use it to cut out cabinet parts or do oversized signs, and literally you're only limited by how much you can roll through there. So this is a bigger machine than I was thinking about purchasing. But one thing I've learned about tools is if you can't get one that really does the job, then you're better off waiting. And I've been waiting about 2 years to finally do this. And finally, I'm biting the bullet on it. The thing that I'm sitting here in my mind is it is another piece of equipment. This is a 2-car garage. I don't have a lot of space in here. I mean, I've got a 3 horsepower shaper. I've got, my power bandsaw. That's a 2 horsepower. I've got a radial saw over here. I've got a 6-inch joiner that's right here. I've got a 15-inch planer. I've got a thickness sander over there, a giant wood lathe that's buried behind there, thickness two drum thickness sander over there, and edge sander. So it's not space to really do this stuff. But my wife always says the thing that's really great about me or ingenious about me is spatial relations. So figuring out how to make things fit that don't necessarily fit. And so in my mind, I came up with a great solution. I'm gonna have to rearrange my workshop here sometime in the next 1 to 2 weeks. The unit will be here, so I need to be ready for it when it does. But in my mind, I figured out how I can actually use this without having to move it. See, originally I was thinking over by the door, I get rid of that little stand that's kind of like a junk stand. You know, when you come into the house, there's always a table where you throw your keys and your wallet and stuff. Well, that's a junk spot over there. And so I was thinking I could put it over there, but its footprint is 68 by 30. And the problem with putting it against the wall is I can't use that whole feature of being able to put a bigger piece in than the 2x4. My mind was I'll put it on wheels and then I can wheel it out on the floor when I need it. But then that becomes impractical because I still don't have much floor space to be able to take sheets of goods and be able to get in and out of here. So my mind started working with me a little bit here. What I've done over the years, and this again looks like a junk table, but it's actually my table saw right here. I've actually extended the table out further so that way I could actually cross cut using the fence up to 36 inches. And then I had this outfeed table, which is also a tool storage. So I get my sander and other tools and stuff that are close by. And then on the other side of that is a 89-inch belt sander that's basically an edge sander. So in my mind, here's where I came up with the solution, and we'll find out if it's going to work, is I still get rid of the junk table over there and straighten some of that stuff out. And I have some tools that are old that I just need to get rid of. I mean, I've got framing nail guns that are compressors. What do I need those for? I've got cordless ones now. Old pneumatic finishing nail guns. I don't even use a compressor. I've got one, and I don't know the last time I started it. Maybe to put some air in the tire. But I get rid of that, and then I'll take my edge sander and I'll put it over there on that wall. The nice thing about that is it's got a low profile, so it won't take up that much wall space. It'll make it easier coming in that door. The edge sander, I'll slide this down more this way towards the old, and when I say old, it's 1973 Delta Rockwell wood lathe that was in a high school. It's in a high school. Heavy as can be. I haven't used it probably in 15 years or so, but in fact, I hadn't used it in so long that the motor seized up and I had to get it worked on, but actually I got the motor fixed. But I don't want to get rid of the lathe because, and if I rearrange it and finish this dresser over here that I started and then didn't like the way it started to come out, then I've got more space over there. So here's what'll happen. I'll cheat the table saw and the joiner over just a little bit, just a couple inches. And what I'm going to do is I'll probably end up getting rid of some of the oversized table. Now you're saying, well, you're going to lose some of the capacity on there, right? Yeah, I will, on being able to rip sheets of plywood. But here's the thing. What we're going to do is we're going to build a table. Let's go over here. Let's go over here and you'll see what I'm talking about here. The shop is a mess. Well, it's always a mess. But it's a mess because now I'm pulling everything out. So this is the edge sander. So we're going to put that over there. So we're going to take this off. The nice thing is the invertible is, the footprint of it's 31 inches. So we'll build basically a stand for to sit on, and we'll build it so it's the same height as the table for the table saw. And this is key. The other thing is we actually have our 15-inch planer underneath of it. That will actually still stay there because I can actually stand here and go 8-foot pieces of material, run it through the planer, and it comes out the other side. So that will stay there. We'll build the table and the stand basically around and above it. We'll actually have some storage underneath of it, and the invertible will sit on top of here. And this is where it's actually going to be really, really good, is because it's the same height as the table saw, right? Basically, we will use the table saw table to be able to put the full sheets of plywood in. So when I have the invertible here with, of course, the gantry and the power router that moves around, I can come in with a full sheet of plywood, set it here, slide it in, let it do its work, and never have to move it. And basically still keep basically the same amount of space in here. And what I'll be able to do, since I built all this stuff in here so long ago, it's time to kind of update it and make it a little bit nicer than what it used to be. So the outfeed table over there, I'll redo and put a new top on it. You know, have maybe paper to pull out, so when I glue things down, the paper will get the glue and I can clean it off. I'll have to redo the dust collection pipe, move it over just a little bit more. But this will make it so I will be able to do great production work, and I think it's actually going to make the workshop a little bit bigger. So I'm inviting you guys to come along on the journey here as we rebuild the shop and as we test out the X-Carver. So I'm going to go through here, I'll go out tomorrow, go to the dump. So I'm going to get rid of a lot of this scrap wood and stuff that I don't use anymore, so that way I can start getting this place rebuilt. But this is really kind of exciting right now to be able to start coming up with something new and to take myself into the next level. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is because of my buddy Joseph Heatherly. Joseph wants a butcher block, and he wants it to be inlaid with a star. And so that's like one of the type of things I'd be able to do with it, is basically inlay in there a star, put in colored epoxy, sand it, and then you've got an inlaid star cutting board. There's so many things that you can do that are just amazing with this machine. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this. So strap on, guys. We'll do an update as I get through here and start moving some of this stuff out and getting it cleaned up and ready for it. But definitely got some rearranging to do. Wish my son were here, because I definitely need his brute strength. Some of these pieces of equipment are several hundred pounds. All right, we'll see you.